In this video, we're going to be talking about creating contact forms. We're going to talk about the major differences in Drupal 8 for their contact forms, and this will be really helpful if you're coming from a Drupal 7 background, as the process of creating contact forms has completely changed. We're going to talk about how to edit the existing contact forms that come with Drupal 8. There should already be one set up. And we're also going to talk about how to create new contact forms. One of the biggest changes in Drupal 8 is the fact that they've built a contact system right into Drupal core. In previous versions of Drupal, we had to download the web form module in order to accomplish this functionality. To view your contact forms, we come up to Structure, Contact Forms. And you can see Drupal has created one automatically for us when we installed our website. And it's called Website Feedback. If we click this here, we're going to be taken directly to that web form. Now you can see that there are 4 items here by default. Our name, our email address, the subject, and the message. We can also have the option to send a copy of this to ourselves. And you can see that Drupal is pulling in some of this information from our user account by default. If we were logged out, we would have to manually enter this information in. Now, to modify and configure this web form, we come back up here to Contact Forms, and we're going to do something very similar to what we've been doing all along. If we click this little drop down here, we can manage the fields of our contact form. So let's say we wanted to add a field for a phone number. We could add that field, and from our field types here, we can look for just a plain text. We're going to type in phone number. Now this isn't exactly the way we would do this because Drupal 8 also has a telephone field built into core, and we would have to turn that module on. That's something that we will probably do later on when we develop our full site. So we're just going to save and continue for this example. We now have the option to choose the maximum length of this text field, but we're just going to continue here through. This is very, very similar to adding a field to a content type. We have the option to enter in a default, some help text, or we can require this field. So we're going to save this, and now we have our phone number. We want to manage the form display. And we can come up here and let's just say we want to move the phone number just above the subject so it's with the rest of the information there. We'll save that. And we can also manage the display. So we have our message and we have our phone number. We'll just pop that up there. Now if we click this edit button here at the top, we're going to be able to rename our contact form. Let's just call this Contact Us. We are also given the option to change where this web form is sent off. It says here, you can use any existing, but the most important part here is to specify multiple recipients, separate each email address with a comma. So we can actually enter in 4 or 5 different email addresses, comma separated, and when somebody submits this, it's going to go to all of those recipients. There's also a redirect path, so if we want to send them to a specific place afterwards, we can do that. And we can also set up an auto reply if we really wanted to. So we could say something like, "Thank you for submitting this contact form. Somebody is reviewing it now and we'll get back to you shortly." This is where you would do that. And then we can save this. Now if we view our Contact Us form now, what we're going to see is that we have our new phone number field added, and that the title of the page has changed from Website Feedback to Contact Us. Now this has become much simpler since we don't have to go out and get another module in order to do this. We could place a menu link to the contact feedback URL, or we can place a block region in a sidebar to always have our contact form available to us. But those are options that we will choose based on how we develop and build our site. You can see that by default there is a menu link in the footer that will take us to this page. But that's a brief overview of how the contact form system works within Drupal. We can add as many as we want, so we can have a contact us form. We can even develop an application for somebody applying for employment right through our website using this form system. But that's the basics of how the contact form system works in Drupal 8. In the next video, we're going to dive into one of the most powerful modules that has ever really existed for Drupal, and that's the Views module. And we're going to grab a basic understanding of what views are.